Hello and welcome to your yoga mobility practice for today. Today we're going to be diving quite deep into hip mobility. It's a mixture of mobilization practices and yoga practices, essentially demonstrating how we can develop our mobility and then apply that to our yoga practice. For today's practice, you might like to have some kind of chair or other support that you could use while standing. But otherwise, just you and your mat. So let's get on the mat and get started. Have fun. So find that comfortable seat to begin. Settle in. I like to have my hips slightly above my knees, so I'm sitting on a bolster here. And that just allows me to be a bit more comfortably rooted into the base of my body. From this place, take a nice big inhale. And a long exhale, close your eyes. And simply settle in. The first practice is always one of arriving. Arriving into your body, into your breath, into your intention to practice. So allow yourself to sink and to feel into the rhythm of your breath. And to feel what it is that you need from your practice today. Why have you come to practice today? More feel into a response to that than think it. So what's arising in your body? What is it that you truly need? And practice in a way that nourishes and supports you today. And know that throughout this practice, our breath is the best indicator of how things are going. So if you're struggling for your breath, maybe dial it back a bit. If you're feeling a bit agitated, come back to your breathing, find a sense of calmness. But always, always aware of our breath as we go. Let's start the practice with the shared breath together. Again, empty your lungs. Take a nice big full inhale. Hold your breath in at the top. And then a long, slow sigh. And welcome once again to your yoga practice. Great to have you here today. And then on your next inhale, open your eyes up, reach your arms up overhead, take a big stretch, go one way, go the other way, go some way, wake yourself up. And then from there, we are going to start from a standing position. So come on up to standing and let's get ourselves warmed up. So I always like to start the practice with I would call it a full body joint mobilization. So that's what we're going to do is go from your head down to your ankles, slowly but surely through all the joints of your body. So starting with your neck, let's take your right ear towards your left shoulder. Feel the stretch on the left side, and then as you inhale, bring your head back to center and exhale left ear to left shoulder. Keep your right shoulder down. And side to side a couple more times. Inhale up, exhale to the right, feel that extension. Inhale up, exhale left, right side finding the length. One more time, inhale up, exhale right, inhale up, exhale left. Good. Bring your head back to neutral. Inhale, look up, but keep your torso stable. And then exhale, look down, tuck your chin, feel that lengthening through the upper back and neck. Inhaling, look up, stretch through your chin. Exhaling, look down. Shoulders stay down. One more time, inhale, look up. And exhale, look down. Working slowly through our body. Look to neutral. Inhale, look over your right shoulder. Keep your chin parallel to the ground. Left shoulder back. Inhale, center. Exhale left, right shoulder back, and two more times each way. Inhale center, exhale right, inhale center, exhale left, inhale center, exhale right, Oh yeah, feels good. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Give your neck a big twirl, a couple times one way. Loosen things up. If it sounds like gravel at the back of your neck, I'd say welcome to the club. And then stabilize. Take your shoulders, so scapula now, up, back, down, and forward. So rolling your shoulder, your scapula, what this is, your shoulder blades, big circles, a few times one way, and then go the other direction a few times, waking up the shoulder blades, feeling them rise and fall on your back as you do that. And then let's pause. Bring your left hand onto your hip, moving through your shoulder now. This is called a controlled articular rotation of the right hand. So take your right hand more to the midline and roll your thumb open. We're externally rotating your shoulder. Reach it up. Keep it externally rotating, reach it back. And now there's a spot where it's like, well, I can't go any further. Start to roll your palm face down, internally rotating your shoulder till the backs of your hand touches the side of your hip. We'll go like that. Reach back, hand rotates strongly and comes across the body to the hip. Again, inhale up, rotate, back, backs of hand touches the hip, up, around, clunk, 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 forwards. And again, inhale up, around, and back. Shake that off and take it to the other side. So right hand to the hip. Externally rotate your left shoulder. Reach up, back as far as you can go, and then turn the thumb down and in. Backs of your hand touches the hip. Reach back, up, over and across. It might be a lot different. It is for my body. Up, rotate, and back. Up, rotate. How's your shoulders doing? Probably feeling this. I know I am. I always have one shoulder that's more cranky than the other. Great. And then just shake that off. Bring your hands up, interlace your fingers, squeeze the base of your wrists quite strongly together, and roll your wrists a couple times. Again, you might get a few snap, crack, pops in there. This is moving through our elbows and our wrists. And then go exactly the other way. So do that a few times. And then keep your fingers interlaced and wave your forearms like the waves outside here. Notice that you're generating the wave from one side. Generate it from the other side. Can you do that? Nice. And then just let it go. Moving into our spine now, bring your hands up overhead. And as you exhale, take your right hand down and left hand reaches up as your left hip moves off the side. So a side bend to the right hand side. Inhale up. Exhale over to your left, hip goes right. So just feeling that stretch. We'll do that 2 times each side. Inhale up. Exhale over. You might even reach the right hand across the body if you like, a little bit more active. Inhale up. Exhale across. Wake up those ribs. One more. Inhale up. Exhale across. I do like my long, slow warm-ups. Hopefully you do too. Inhale up and exhale across. Beautiful. Inhale, bring both hands up. And exhale, interlace your fingers behind your head. Now try to keep your pelvis stable. I like to bring my feet right tight together. We're doing forwards and backwards bending. So inhale, look up, lift your heart. And then as you exhale, tuck your chin, elbows forwards, and just roll your spine, not your hips. So elbows are moving down. Inhale up and flare those elbows, look up. Exhale, round forward. So forwards and backwards bending of your spine. One more time. Inhale up, look up. And exhale forwards and look down. Nice. Inhale up, send your hands to the ceiling. And as you exhale, turn to the right, palms face up, arms extended. And so we're twisting the spine now. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to your left. Reach, keep your palms face up. Inhale up. Exhale, twist right. Oh yeah. Wake up my shoulders again. Inhale up. Exhale left. Twisting the spine. Inhale up, exhale right. We're just about there. Inhale up and exhale left. Beautiful. Bring your hands down to your hips and just going to mobilize the hip initially here with some little hip circles. So manifesting your inner Elvis here, twirling the hips around and around. And then go the other way, just gently waking up the synovial fluid in our hip sockets here by moving around. Beautiful. And then pause, knees nicely together, hands on your knees, knees bent. This is called washing the knees in Qigong, just circling the knees around a few times. Keep your feet flat the whole time. Snap, crack, pop. Go the other way. Around, around, and around. Beautiful. Slowly stand up and maybe just give your ankles a bit of a shake. Shake out one foot. Shake out the other foot. And then the whole darn body, just shake it all off. And let's get started with some moving now into understanding hip mobility. So I'm going to be using a chair here just for stability. I'm going to take it off to my left. You don't have to use a chair. It's just an option here. So left hand on the chair or on your hip. And bring your, keep your right leg straight. Lift your right foot off the floor. Take it out to the side. This is abduction of your right hip. So you're feeling that in the inner thigh probably. And then as you bring it across the body, still leg straight, this is adduction. So abduct, when you abduct someone, you take it away from you. And then when you add, we bring it back to the midline. So this is abduction and adduction of the hip is what this is. And then bring it back to center. Bring your knee up. This is called flexion of your hip. See how high up you can bring it? And then when you take your leg away from you, knee back, this is extension of the hip. So flexion, bring the knee up. Extension, bring the knee back. Flexion and extension. Nice. One more movement is internal and external rotation of your hips. So keep the knee bent. Take your knee out to the side and also try to lift your foot up a bit. This is strong external rotation of your hip. And then bring it to center. Bring your outer foot up and your knee in. This is internal rotation. So external rotation, internal rotation. Notice your pelvis is trying to compensate. Try to keep your pelvis stable. We're trying to isolate just the head of your femur as we do this. Nice. Now pause. Let's do a controlled rotation through most of those movements. Bring your knee across the midline and then slowly out to the side. Start to let your knee drop and your back foot lift. Bring it back together, sort of like we did the shoulders. So extend your foot back, externally rotate across the body, internally rotate. So just a few times. Oh, clunk, clunk, clunk. You can see why we need that chair. And then continue in a big circle one way. Oh, I have a persistent clunk on one side and then go the other way. Your left hip is probably complaining as well from all the balancing. And then pause and shake it off. That's the basic movements of the hip. And that's all of those movements we need to strengthen as we go through our practice. Chair to the other side, if you're using it. Right hand on the chair or on your hip. And let's just go through all of that again on the other side. So lifting your left foot off the floor, left toes back towards you, left leg straight. There's abduction out to the side. Try to keep your pelvis stable. And then adduction across the front line. Abduct, adduct, legs strong the whole time. Abduct, adduct. Nice. Bring your knee up towards you. Flexion. And then send your knee way behind you. Extension. I always get a cramp in my hammies there. Oh. Cramping is a sign of weakness in the muscles. So don't be scared of the cramp. It's going to happen. It's happening to me. It'll probably happen to you as well. So that's flexion and extension of the left hip. And then external rotation, foot's lifting a bit. Internal rotation, where the outer foot's lifting. So we're just trying to find mobilization of that poor old hip ball in the socket a few times. And then let's take it into a controlled rotation. Out to the side, drop your knee down, foot towards your bum. Oh yeah. And then out to the side, up and across. Beautiful. A few times like that. Just trying to mobilize the hip. And then continue big circles one way. Notice the compensations that tend to happen. And the other way. Ideally, we do this by just moving that joint and no other joints of the body. And then pause and give it a bit of a shake. So, I'm going to get rid of my chair. Move it out the way. Now, I'd like to take you through what are called some dynamic conditioning movements. So, the focus will be on our hips and creating a bit more strength through the various movements that we undertake here. Take your feet a little bit wider. Turn your toes in, heels out, hands on your hips, and bend your knees forwards until your knees touch. So you're going to feel quite a compression into the fronts of your ankles and probably an extension on the calves. This is called goat pose. And it's a little bit of internal rotation of your hips as well, and a little bit of adduction. From here, as you inhale, bring your hands up, straighten your legs. And as you exhale, knees down together, hands down. Inhale up. Exhale, goat pose. Picking up those calves, inhale up. Exhale, goat pose. Beautiful. Inhale up, pause, hands to hips. Turn your toes out now. So your toes may be just off the mat a little bit. Heels are turned in. Inhale your hands up. Are you ready? Exhale. Sit down as far as you can while keeping your feet flat. So whatever your squat looks like, the first one of the day. Inhale, stand up. Use every muscle in your glutes here. Reach up. Exhale, sit down. Exhaling the whole darn way. Two more like that. Inhale, up, 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 up. Exhale, down. One more time. I need this as well. Inhale up. I've been in Tofino. All I've been doing is walking on the beaches. Beautiful. And then sit down as far as you can and pause here. So if it's really challenging, you could place a block or something underneath your bum for a little bit of support or resistance. Wedge your elbows into your inner thighs. Sink into this for a few breaths. There's a bit of pressure between your leg and your arm or your elbow on both sides. So sort of an opposition of forces there. Let's develop that strength a little bit more. Start to squeeze your knees into your elbows as strongly as you can for 5, strongly, 4, 3, 2, and then on one pause, try to take your knees away from your arms for 5, oh yeah, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Squeeze your knees in again. Squeeze, 5, 4. I'm shaking. 3, 2, 1. That's how much we're using. And again, away. Knees away. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Sink in and just soften in the squat. Now relax those arms, relax those hips, relax the effort. Be okay, not so comfortable. Now one hand behind, the other hand behind. Let your bum come down. Send your legs out front. Give them a shake. Oh yeah. Hopefully that feels good. All right, now from here, take your feet as just off the mat, legs bent, and position your bum a little bit more forwards on your mat. Check behind you that you're not going to whack into something. For me, there's a fireplace ledge behind me, and I don't want to hit that with my head, so make sure you don't hit your head. Roll back, let your feet lift off the ground. So it looks kind of goofy, like an upside down bug. And then roll forwards, reach through your heels, reach your arms forward strongly. So it's like a splits as you reach your hands forwards. A couple times like that. Roll back, legs lift, legs bent. And then roll forwards, reach through your heels, reach through your hands, stretch. One more time, roll back, feet lift. And then roll forwards, reach forwards, stretch forwards, and linger here now. Find a place where your heels are shooting away from you, your toes are coming back towards you, backs of your knees driving down, and your hands are walking forwards. So we're addressing the muscles on the backs of your legs here, and also getting into a bit of hip flexion. So there's a compression at your hip socket here. Trying to build a bit of strength there. Nice. And then slowly, slowly walk your hands back in. Lean back. Should we rest here for the rest of class? It just gets harder. No, it doesn't. Bring your feet forwards off the ground, toes pointed, and flutter kick those legs. 10, 9, without your hands if you like. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let your feet come down. Pause. If you need to shake those legs, give them a shake. You can tell this builds a little bit into the abdominal core as well, which is obviously attached to your hips, so we got to work on that at the same time. Lean back again, lift both feet, point both toes, and again, flutter kick. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, oh, feel that, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring those legs down. Oh. This is reminding me I need to do more of this. I don't know about you. Take your legs nice and wide. Again. Now you could either be leaning back or you could try to do this with your hands at your heart. Lift your feet, bring them forwards, let your heels touch. Giggles are good. Bring your legs wide, let your feet come down. Oh my goodness. 2 more like that. Lean back, feet lift, feet together and forwards, feet wide, feet down. Oh my goodness, I can feel that. One more time. Lean back, lift, squeeze, stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there, stay there, wide, stay there, stay there, stay there, feet down. Oh, yes, give those legs a nice little shake. All right, let's just take a little passive pause. Cross your legs, tip forwards, take your knees as wide as your mat and your shins roughly parallel to the edge of your mat. Keep your bum lifted, frog pose. Let your arms come down. Maybe you stack your fists and rest your forehead, or maybe your forehead comes to the ground. But we're trying to keep our knees nice and wide, shins parallel to the mat, bum lifted, heart down, and take a well-deserved pause. If it feels nice to pulse a little bit forwards and backwards, feel free to do that. Feels nice. Slow, easy breathing. Good. And then from here, we'll shift to child's pose. So feet maybe touch, knees come in a little bit. Sink your bum all the way back. And then again, take your version of child's pose. Maybe your hands are stacked and you rest your forehead. Or maybe you rest your forehead. Find a spot that feels good and right to you. And again, any kind of movement here is totally okay, as long as it's not fidgeting, right? It's a sort of any kind of purposeful movement to dissipate stuckness or agitation. That's what we're looking for. All right. Now, as my mother used to say, no rest for the wicked. Let's slowly come forwards onto our hands and knees again. Maybe you shake your legs out. Actually, I think downward dog would be nice here. Tuck your toes, spread your fingers nice and wide, and then bum back and up into downward dog. And in down dog, let's just paddle your legs. So bend one knee deeply, straighten the other leg, back and forwards a few times. Nice. And then again, we'll drop down to our hands and knees. Take your right foot all the way out to the side, right foot flat on the floor. So here I'm on my left knee, right leg extended, right foot flat, hands forwards. Rock back with your bum. Feel that extension into your inner leg line, and then rock forwards. Do that a few times. Rock back. Feels like you're trying to draw your right foot back to the midline. All the muscles of your leg are engaged. Rock forwards. Rock back. Feels like you're trying to pull that foot in. One more time. Rock forwards. Rock back. And linger here. Try to draw that foot in. Any cramping that's happening, well, back out a little bit. My calves are not enjoying this today. And then slowly come forwards. Bring that right knee in. Let's take child's pose very, very briefly. Just let everything settle and soften. Take a breath or two there. We're not going to linger very long. And then again, back we go to the other side. Come back to tabletop. Right knee under right hip. Left leg out to the side. Left foot flat on the floor. And then rocking forwards and backwards, keeping a sense of engagement of the inner thigh here as you do that. These are called adductor rockbacks. Strange name, but there it is. Nice and active in the foot and the inner thigh as you go backwards and forwards. And then at some point, keep your bum back. Keep all those muscles engaged. Feels like you're drawing your foot towards you. Sustain that action. Oh yeah, until some kind of shaking happens. That's probably how much we want to do. And then again, bring the knee in, knee wide, knees wide. Child's pose. Oh yeah. Your hips are going to hate/love me tomorrow. Good for you. Good for you for showing up and doing this practice. Good for you for taking care of yourself. This stuff is not easy. And again, let's come back up to our hands and knees. Square up your knees and your shins. And take your right foot forwards outside your right hand. It's nice and wide. So a kneeling lunge. If you need some support under your back knee, like a towel or something, go for it. And then one hand, the other hand onto your knees. Come on up to a kneeling lunge, hands to knees. Make sure you're stable. We don't want to be suffering here. And then start to draw circles with your knee going backwards and forwards. So we're mobilizing your hip and your knee as we go back and forwards. A few times one way, and then a few times the other way, circling in the other direction. Oh yeah, that's nourishing. And then let's pause. Bring your hands back down to the mat. Roll onto your outer right foot. So your big toe of your right foot lifts. Right knee moves away from you. And we'll take your left hand off the mat a little bit. Press your right hand to your inner right knee. Just gently. We're not trying to rip your leg off. A little bit of pressure there. And now fire up all the muscles of that right hip, right leg, so that you can take your hand away from your knee, but it still feels like you're driving your knee away from you. Strongly for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And then pause, place your hand back on your knee, and without letting the knee win, press your knee into your hand. So drive the knee into your hand for 5, strongly, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Pause, hands down, foot flat. Child's pose again, knees wide, hands forward, sink back. And notice the difference in sensation from one side to the other as we go along here. My sense is this class could be an hour and a half if we wanted it to. Good. Alrighty, let's do the other side. Come on up. Keep your hands over to the right. Left foot steps forwards, out to the edge of your mat. Right knee comfortably placed and supported. And then come on up into a kneeling lunge with that front knee a little bit off of the midline. And then start those motions again, dipping forwards as you draw a circle with the knee and the hip. Mobilizing our hip, the knee, even the ankle is getting a bit of nourishment here. Oh yeah. And then go the other way. Around, around, and around. Beautiful. And then pause. Take that right hand. It's going to be way off the mat to the right. Roll to your outer left foot. The left big toe lifts up. Left hand presses against the knee. Notice that sensation. Notice how far you can take the knee without creating suffering. Suffering is optional. And then take your hand off of your knee, but keep driving your knee away from you. So isometrically trying to develop the strength of external rotation of your hip here. Nice. For 3, 2, and then 1. Place your left hand on your inner knee, and then try to drive your knee into your hand, but don't let the knee win. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Slowly soften and find your way to child's pose yet again. Knees wide, hands forwards, and noticing the sensations from one side and the other. Hopefully things feel roughly balanced by now, but you never know. Lovely. Feel your breath. Try to slow your breath rate down. Nourish yourself with each inhale, with each exhale. Nice. And then let's slowly come on back up. Swing your legs out front. I understand from Melissa that you've probably done this before. So feet as wide as the mat. You can lean back. And then drop both knees to the left. Knees try to touch. And then come to center. Both knees to the right. It's called 90-90. So side to side a few times. I don't know why I'm feeling this in my right calf, but I am. My calf muscles give me lots of grief for some reason. A few times, side to side. And then let's pause. Once we get both knees falling to the left, pause there, sit up tall, and try to get both legs to be about 90 degrees. So I've got my right hip, right femur heading straight forwards, right shin parallel to the edge of the mat. The same with the left leg. And then turn your whole torso towards your upper left leg. That's it. Your right hip is rolling in a little bit. And then pause right here. Now comes the fun part. Just take a peek at your right knee. We're going to keep your right knee on the mat. And then as much as you need to lean to the left, go for it. Lift your right foot up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Keep the foot lifted as you drive your knee down for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let your ankle come down. Press your right ankle into the floor and lift your right knee up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it lifted as you drive your ankle down. Your heel is lift, or knee is lifting for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Drop your knee down. Square yourself up again over the front leg. Oops, I forgot something. Sorry. Go back. Lean over to the left a little bit. This is really fun. Lift your entire right shin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it lifted. Keep that right ankle high for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let it come down. Now turn towards the left and try to lift your entire left shin off the mat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it lifted. Keep that left foot nice and high. Oh my goodness. Strengthening external rotation. And exhale. Bring it back down. Go side to side, 90-90 a few times. And relish the thought that you get to do it all again on the other side. It's great to have you guys here today. As you may tell, I'm having fun. And then let's go over to the right. Both knees go to the right. Set yourself up for 90 degrees on pretty much every joint. Sit up nice and tall. Take a look at your left knee. And now leaning as much or as little as you need, lift that left ankle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it lifted. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. Why is it so different on this side? Lift your knee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it lifted. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. The entire left shin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it lifted. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. Square yourself up over that right femur. And then try to lift your entire right shin off the mat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keep it lifted. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Drop it down. Beautiful. Come back through to center. Go side to side a few times. All right. There's even more conditioning work that I could do, but let's try and apply some of this work to our yoga practice, to traditional forms. So cross your legs, bring your hands forwards, step back to downward dog. Let your head drop down and just move your legs, dissipating any tightness in the muscles. Nice. And then pause in your downward dog. Inhale your right leg way up off the floor. And exhale, bring your right foot as far forwards as you can. Drop your left knee down. Inhale your hands up overhead. And on your exhale, try to step both feet in front of the mat, hands swing behind. Inhale, stand up. And a big loud, ha. Good. Inhale up. And again, exhale, ha. One more time. Inhale up. Exhale, ha. Good. Inhale all the way up and slow down. Exhale, wash your hands down. Let's take one more cleansing breath like that. Inhale, hands up. Exhale, wash your hands down. Good. Hands on your hips. Now we're at the top of your mat. Turn to face the right side of your mat from the top of your mat. I'll move into warrior one fairly slowly and deliberately. Bend your knees and step your right foot way back. It's about 3 feet. So not huge, not super huge, but about 3 feet. Now lift the toes of your right foot and rotate those toes in as strong as you can. Now we've internally rotated your right hip, and lift the toes of the left foot, spin that foot forwards and sink down. So now we've got the back toes turned in, back leg strongly pressing in. The right hip is trying to come forwards, and you're trying to square up your shoulders with the front of the mat. So this is warrior one. And there's a lot going on here in your hips. So your back leg feels like it's externally rotated, but it's actually trying to internally rotate. There's a bit of adduction as well. There's flexion of your front hip. And then from there, sink in a bit further into that front hip. Bring your hands up overhead. Overlap your hands. So use your thumbs to squeeze your hands together. Keep your hips exactly where they are. Reach up, and then take a bit of a back bend. Keep your hips where they are, but reach up and back. Squeeze your biceps towards your ears. You should feel a good extension through the front of that right hip. Oh my goodness. And then come back up. Pivot your back heel from the mat so your heels are square. Lean forwards, flare your hands, and lift your back leg if you dare. Toppling tree, and I want you to land on a bent left leg. Bend and straighten your left leg, your ankle, your knee, your hip. This is called toppling tree, also called warrior three, depending on how it's going, but we're building strength, ankle, knee, and particularly hip. And then feet together, arms up overhead, and exhale. Hands down. Oh, how's that going? Turn to face the other side of your mat. And we'll do that same little sequence on this side, whatever side this is. We're facing left. Fairly big step back with the back foot. Internally rotate your back hip by turning your toes in. Externally rotate your front hip by rotating your toes out. Bend your front knee. Press into that left foot, that back foot strongly. So nice and strong there. Notice your shoulders aren't square with the front of the mat. So square the shoulders forwards. Keep pressing in that back foot. Lift your hands up. Front knee bent. And that inner front knee is trying to move off to the side so it's not collapsing. Knee is moving away from you. Strong. Beautiful. Now for that little back bend, hips stay exactly where they are. Reach up and back bend. Heart lifting, biceps squeeze to your ears. Back leg is pressing into the mat, nice and strong. And then come up, bring your hands down, pivot your back heel, lean forwards, and then lift your back leg. And then we're on a bent right leg, wobbling here and there. Bend and straighten, bend and straighten. Maybe you use a chair for support, but bend and straighten that right leg, knee, and hip. And then inhale, hands up, feet together. Exhale, hands down. Go side to side a couple times. Let's just shake that off. Oh yeah. All right, tree pose. Using a bit of mobility practice. Hands on your hips. Externally rotate your right hip by turning your right toes out to the side. Now, keep your hands on your hips. Don't use your hands. Lift your knee up as high as you can. So it's externally rotated and flexed. Toes back towards your knee. Keep it there as high as you can, as wide as you can without using your Hands. Now, point your toes down, keep the knee high, press your leg against your foot against your leg, tree pose without using your hands. This is your active range of motion. If you fall down, don't worry about it, just do it again. So we're trying to find our active range of motion, that place that we can access without yanking ourselves into it, and then sustain it. So press leg to foot, foot to leg, hands can stay to hips. Try to drive your knee away from you. Oh yeah, good determination. And then bring your knee forwards, foot down, shake it off. Externally rotate that left foot, and then bring the knee up nice and high and wide, as high and wide as you can without compensating in the hips. So hips stay stable. Hopefully your body does too. And then see how high and wide you can get the leg without falling down. Find that place, keep that place, point your toes down, keep that place, press your foot to your leg to your foot. Press, 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 press. Wobbling is okay. You know what wobbles are, right? Wobbles as your brain and body building new neurological pathways. Your body brain is doing something it's not used to, so wobbling is a sign of that, and that's a good thing. Wobbling is not a bad thing. You're building new neurological pathways, which is great. So fall down every once in a while. It's good for your brain. Bring your knee forwards, bring your foot down, and give it a big shake. All right. Let's get into our cool down practice. Take a nice big inhale, hands up. And a long exhale, fold all the way forwards. Inhale to lengthen. And then exhale, bend your knees, drop your knees to the mat. Sink your bum down to the mat, swing your legs out front. Here we are, ready to sink into our final practice. I'll turn to the side just so maybe you'll be able to see a little bit better here. Lie down, draw your knees in towards your chest, give yourself a good squeeze. Maybe take your knees for a bit of a circle, one way and the other way. And then drop both feet to the mat, knees bent. And take your hands and place them on your belly, fingers interlaced, or take them beside your body, but decide not to use your hands here. So get your hands out the way. Keep your left foot on the ground and bring your right ankle on top of your left knee. Reclining figure four. Don't use your hands. Lift your left foot from the ground and drive your left knee towards you as you try to drive your right knee away from you without using your hands. Oh yeah, not easy, but keep driving left knee towards you, right knee away from you. And then let it get a bit passive. Maybe interlace both fingers behind the left leg and hang out there. Or maybe you can take your right hand to your inner right knee and press your right knee away from you. And just hang out. Maybe you extend that left leg. Oh yeah. Nice and calm. And then let's slowly unwind. Both feet touch down. Flip-flop your legs side to side. All right. Decide not to use your hands. Keep your right foot where it is. Left ankle on top of the right knee. Left toes a little bit flexed back towards your knee. Walk your right foot in. Lift the right foot from the ground. Then drive your right knee towards you or your left knee away from you. Very active reclining figure four. Sustain that activation. Building strength even now. And then at some point, let yourself use your hands. Maybe you pull your knee to or shin to, or thigh, towards you. Maybe you push your knee away from you. Maybe you straighten the leg. But find a place that's a little bit softer. Oh yeah. Nice. Nice shiggle shake. And then slowly soften, both feet down, flip-flop your knees side to side. And move into a couple of twists. Bring your feet together. Walk your feet in, lift your bum off the mat a little bit. Shift your hips to the left. Drop both knees to the right. Boom. Extend your left hand, palm face up, look to the left. Maybe your right hand holds your knees down. Maybe you hook your legs together. Maybe you wedge something between your knees, adapting the twist to whatever works for you. Nice, easy, slow breathing. Relax your face. Relax your shoulder, your jaw. Nice. Every exhale is an opportunity to soften just a bit more. All right. And with that, let's slowly come back to neutral. Stabilize your pelvis. Just hang out there. Let everything settle. And then when you're ready, we'll shift your hips a little bit to the right. Both knees go left. Right arm extends, gaze goes right. Again, sinking into a place of relaxation, softness, receptivity. Just allowing your body to yield, to receive even all of the nourishment, the benefits of what you've just done. Relax your forehead, your eyes, your jaw. Soften through your shoulders. That feels nice. And now one more thing before Savasana. Come back to neutral and send both legs up to the ceiling, both arms up to the ceiling, but nice and lazy. And slowly rotate your wrists and your ankles as slowly as you can, as big a circle as you can. Snap, crack, pop probably. And then go the other way. Twirling the ankles and the wrists. And then spread your toes and fingers, and then squeeze your toes and fingers. Spread, squeeze. Maybe you twirl, spread, squeeze. And then shake it off. Shake your wrist, shake your ankle, shake it off. This dissipates all of the lymphatic fluids back towards your torso. All the byproducts of all that work you're done is draining back and being eliminated. And then slowly, legs down, arms down. Nice big inhale. And a long exhale as you close your eyes. Savasana. And now this practice is just as fundamental as all the others. Completely relaxing, yielding, allowing. Feel the simple rise and fall of your breath. And even notice the feeling of your breath in your nostrils, right at the tip of the nose there. Feeling the coolness of the inhale, the warmth, the moisture of the exhale. Trying to balance out the sensation between both nostrils. Balancing left and right. And this just not just balancing our breath pattern, but balancing the two sides of our body, the two sides of our brain. And now from this place, continue to lie there breathing. Bring your attention, your awareness towards your heart, the center of your chest. And develop a sense of gratitude today. Just feeling grateful, thankful, and accepting all of that gratitude for yourself today, for showing up, doing the work, taking care of yourself. Well done, well done, well done. Take a nice big inhale. And a long exhale to sigh. And thank you so much, my friends, for sharing this space and this time with each other and with me today. So lovely to have you here. I hope you have a really, really beautiful day, beautiful weekend ahead of you. Namaste.